Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, episode number 81 for Saturday, November the 8th, 2008. Hello everybody, welcome to Review a Day, the daily video blog where I review a movie 7 days a week. My name is Leland Brungart and thank you very much for joining me. Saturday, new movie review, and the movie I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is Role Models. This movie is directed by David Wain, who directed what I think is one of the funniest cult comedies ever made, Wet Hot American Summer. If you haven't seen it, see it. It's hysterical. This movie stars Seann William Scott, Paul Rudd, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who you probably know as McLovin from Superbad, Bobby J. Thompson, Elizabeth Banks, Jane Lynch, a lot of David Wain regulars, people like Ken Marino, 80 Miles, Joe Lo Truglio, Matt Walsh from the Upright Citizens Brigade TV sketch comedy show on Comedy Central also appears in this film. Lots of really, really funny people in this movie. This movie's about Paul Rudd and Seann William Scott. They have kind of this shitty job where they go from school to school selling a Minotaur energy drink and telling kids not to do drugs. Paul Rudd gets dumped by his girlfriend. He has a bad day and he drives the car up onto the top of a horse statue. And instead of going to jail for 30 days, they are forced to go into a Big Brother type community service program called Sturdy Wings. Jane Lynch plays the Sturdy Wings coordinator. She's this ex-cocaine addict who is very kind of rough around the edges, very funny. And it's about them trying to connect with these two kids. Paul Rudd has this really nerdy kid who's into live-action role-playing. And Seann William Scott gets like this foul-mouthed, sassy black kid, basically. This is definitely David Wain's most mainstream comedy by far. Which on one hand, great. I'm glad that everyone is getting to experience David Wain because he's fantastic. But it also just made me a little sad that it's not so... This movie isn't as weird as Wet Hot American Summer is, or The 10. Those movies are really weird, and there are definitely times in Role Models where I felt the David Wain sensibility. There's a part where this guy says, if I had a nickel for every year I've been a Big Brother, I could play a game of Pac-Man, because I've been in it for 5 years. It's classic David Wain. The ending where she's basically playing with... Jane Lynch is playing with a hot dog and doing this kind of pornographic thing with it. Very much David Wain, and I was very happy that these moments still made it into the film. The fact that Joe Lo Truglio and 80 Miles have incredibly funny featured roles. I loved seeing these guys on the big screen at like my local theater, which was fantastic. I'm so happy that these guys got the chance to make a big mainstream comedy, and for no other reason, I want people to go out and see this movie because of that. This movie is crude, it is vulgar, it is hysterical. I laughed a lot during this movie. The little kid, Bobby J. Thompson, just about steals the movie. I mean, that moment in the trailer where he calls Paul Rudd Reindeer Games and compares him to Ben Affleck. He compares him to Ben Affleck a couple times throughout the film, and my favorite time being when he calls him Daredevil. Hysterical, love that. Jane Lynch, who plays the Sturdy Wings coordinator, I think Jane Lynch is easily one of the most underrated comic actresses working, and everyone knows who she is. She's in everything, but I don't think that many people know her name or know a lot of her work. She's one of those people, it's like, oh, I've seen her before in lots of things. Judy Greer is another actress who I often think is completely underrated. Jane Lynch is hysterical in this movie. When she talks about having cocaine for breakfast, I love that. The tattoo on her arm, so funny. All of her speeches in the movie, I freaking loved. Anytime she was on the screen, I was dying. This movie doesn't go for sweet. It's a little sweet at times, but I don't think it's trying to be really that emotional movie that I think Zack and Miri Make a Porno had a really emotional core. This movie is a comedy, and it doesn't really try too hard to be anything more than that. And I completely respect that 100%. I would rather see a movie just be a true comedy through and through than try to throw in a lot of heart, which is kind of the trend these days, to have really sweet, vulgar films. A lot of Judd Apatow films are like that. But I'm happy that David Wain got this chance to make this really funny, vulgar comedy. I highly recommend it. I give this film a 3 out of 5. go see it this weekend. I think you guys will really enjoy it. If you guys are liking my reviews, make sure and subscribe. Give me some ratings if you want to see. If you have any films you'd like to see me review, leave them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.